Hey, what's up guys? This is Swirling again, back with a new Minecraft Dungeons video. Today we're gonna talk about the Void Strike, a new enchantment which got introduced on the Echoing Void DLC update. And this is by far one of the most powerful enchantments which you can get your hands on in the game. It literally changes the meta for melee weapons. It is extremely powerful, so right now we're gonna talk about how strong it is, if you should use it in your build for the highest Apocalypse Plus. So let's get right to it. Before we get started, definitely make sure to check out Bunch. Bunch is an awesome mobile app which allows you to play games with friends and use voice or even video chat in your parties. All the best games like Minecraft, Among Us, and Brawl Stars, which is my favorite game by the way to own noobs on the go, are installed and launched in only seconds with a user-friendly interface. No friends online? No problemo. Join people from all over the world using the integrated social system, so you will always have someone to play games with. Want to team up and play some games together? Click my link in the description and get Bunch right now. Doing so, you'll even support the channel, so already thanks a bunch. I'll see you guys on the battlefield. Be there at 4 AM. Cheers. Alright, so here we are in the base camp next to the target dummy. Let me just quickly show you exactly what the Void Strike is all about. So Void Strike is a new enchant which you can find on both melee and ranged weapons. Attacking a target applies a damage multiplier that rises steadily to a maximum level and then it is removed. But it's not really removed, it actually stays pretty much as long as you hit your target, and it will deal tons and tons of damage. On tier 1 it just says plus 200% max damage multiplier. On tier 3 we have plus 600%. I don't think it is extremely strong on ranged, as we don't usually use that all the time with the meta, but on melee weapons it is extremely powerful. So let me just show this by first equipping these gauntlets with pretty much the same damage as these right here. But these actually have a tier 1 Void Strike enchanted. So first off, I'm gonna take this one and punch the target dummy a little bit. So without any built-in damage enchantments on my piece of armor, no potions, no Gong of Weakening or Deathcap Mushroom, these gauntlets, they hit 161,000 on the target dummy. Of course, the final hits, they deal a little bit more damage, but 161,000 is what we're looking after. So then, if we equip this bad boy right here with only tier 1 Void Strike, this guy deals so much more damage. So if we just hit the target dummy, the first hit of course is gonna deal that 160, 162-ish, but if we just keep hitting this bad boy, you can see it hits for 211 right there, and it of course goes way higher on those higher damage numbers as well. So let me just crank this up to the maximum tier, guys. Then you're gonna be surprised, because of course you're gonna run with a tier 3 enchantment right there. If you hit the target dummy, right now it hits for 200 and more, 227. And the cool thing is, if you're using a weapon with a slower attack speed, this deals even more damage. So say we punch the target not that often, we deal 300 and even more damage per hit. 300,000, 470,000, 625,000 right there. So of course you can tell that it is not going to be the best on extremely fast weapons, but let me just showcase it on another weapon. So right here I have a Dark Katana with power level 248. So of course this one deals more damage in comparison with the 248 common or rare ones. So what we're gonna do is put Void Strike tier 3 on this katana. It doesn't have a very high attack speed, but this one doesn't have any of those enchantments. Of course, we want to have something that can be compared, right? So we're gonna put the sharpness in there, plus 33% damage. It's already a very high raw damage. So if we equip this bad boy and hit the target dummy, we hit for 750,000 damage, which is already a lot if you ask me. And the third hit deals over 1 million damage. But right now, if we switch to this guy, just a rare katana, guys, you can see that it deals so much more. So 500 and we go to 1 and 2 million right there. So you can tell that this is so much stronger in comparison with the sharpness. This is by far the strongest melee weapon enchantment which you can get your hands on right now, literally changing the meta for Minecraft Dungeons. So the question right now is, should you use this on your weapons? I'd say yes, only on melee weapons. I mean, on ranged it can be interesting, but once again we focus on using melee damage all the time, so I definitely suggest you to only use it on melee. On ranged there are actually some very cool new enchantments which you can use as well. For example, the looting, and also in my previous video we talked a little bit about refreshment, because if you have refreshment on it, also if you kill mobs with your melee, you will get that cooldown of your potion down as well. So on ranged weapons, we also have the Void Strike. Attacking a target applies a damage multiplier that rises steadily to a max level, then is removed with a maximum of 300% max damage multiplier instead of 600 on the melee. It is not that bad, but if you're constantly using your melee weapon, I think you should definitely focus on things like the looting, or you could even go with Prospector. So right here we have Prospector on this Void Bow, so it can definitely be interesting if you're gonna farm for emeralds, but of course let's get back to the Void Strike because this one is so powerful. So on this Dark Katana we already did a Sharpness tier 3, right? Right now I'm gonna put a second Sharpness on there so you can see how powerful that single Void Strike enchantment is. So right now the Katana with double Sharpness, I don't think it's exactly 66%, but it's definitely gonna deal a lot more. So we have 1 million right there and almost 5 million with the final attack. But once again, if we switch back to the regular Katana, and you can tell that the difference is huge. So we go from 1.2 million with a final blow 2 million, which is of course way more in comparison with the 1.5, and that for only one single enchantment. So right now the big question is, on which weapon is the Void Strike gonna be the most efficient? When is it gonna be the most powerful and interesting to use for the maximum apocalypse play? Well, the answer is pretty simple. If you take an extremely slow weapon like the Encrusted Anchor or a Gravity Hammer, they already hit like a truck, pretty much allow you to one-hit kill mobs anyways, so I think it's gonna be way overkill to use it on one of these. While on the other hand, if you put it on a Fighter's Bindings, these are just a little bit too fast, so they don't get the max potential out of the Void Strike stacking. So what you want to search is the sweet spot, and that is on the moderate attack speed weapons, for example a Highland Axe or maybe something like the Cutlass right here. They're not too fast, they don't deal too much damage, but that is just perfect for the Void Strike to stack in its optimal way. So right here we have a Highland Axe with power level 251 with also Void Strike as optional enchantment. So this one deals 493,000 damage. So let's just equip this bad boy for a second and hit the target dummy. So the third attack of course will swing with a higher damage, 759,000, and the other ones deal 493. But right now, we're gonna put Void Strike on this bad boy, and you can tell that we go from 400-ish damage to 900. And actually, we go to 1.1, 900, and 1.6 million right there. So you can definitely tell that with a Void Strike, we can hit like a truck with only this enchantment. If we put the Deathcap Mushroom on, of course, we attack a little bit faster. So that also means that the damage modifier will be a little bit reduced. We won't deal the same amount of damage, but of course, since we're attacking twice as fast, this is still very interesting, and it's probably gonna be the best enchantment for this kind of weapon. So yeah guys, you can definitely tell that the damage we deal with the Void Strike is brutal. But then there is another enchantment which can be interesting if you are playing on the highest Apocalypse Plus. We also have an enchantment called Unchanting, and this one used to only be on ranged weapons, but right now you can also find it on melee weapons, and the most difficult mobs which you encounter pretty much in Apocalypse level 7 plus 25 are enchanted. So with this one you can actually increase your damage by 100%, literally doubling the damage of your weapon. So this can also be extremely interesting, especially if you're going for daily trials with extremely difficult enchanted mobs. This will be by far the best enchantments to pick, and of course if you take this one in combination with Void Strike, you will melt these bad boys in no time. So now you guys are probably also wondering if it's still interesting to go for a weapon with Swirling or maybe Shockwave. Well, I think definitely, because these are actually very awesome for AoE damage, especially the Shockwave, because you can actually use this one as ranged attack. So you can shoot enemies from afar, and of course the critical hit is still extremely interesting as well. I think the combination with all these enchantments is gonna be very awesome. And then of course we also have the Committed. I was never a big fan of this enchantment, as you need to first wound the mob for a nice amount before it starts to become interesting. But then one last thing guys, if you happen to find a ranged weapon with Void Strike, don't combine it with Rampaging. I mean, there are way more interesting enchantments, and this one actually increases your attack speed, so it will also lower the power of your Void Strike swings. I think it's a shame that the beginning and the end doesn't have this as tier 3 built-in enchantment, because that would have made it such an overpowered and awesome weapon to play with. But man, it just looks so cool. I will still continue to play with it even though it's not meta. However, on the blacksmith, I have one right here which is gilded, which also has a tier 2 exploding or looting. One of the two, I think it's gonna be very awesome to check out with a new build. It also has Swirling, Shockwave, and refreshments. So guys, a big thanks for watching. That was pretty much everything you need to know about the Void Strike. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, definitely make sure to hit that like button. And of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe because a lot more is coming your way. And the cool thing is, it is entirely free. Oh, and guys, if you want to play mobile games together, don't forget to check out Budge. My link and username are in the description. Even only clicking them already helps me out big time. Guys, have a very awesome day. Till next time.